Opal's babies drowning in the water dish that is just for the hens. So our guineas have been missing for 2 or 3 days now. It isn't entirely uncommon for these super ugly but super beneficial birds to just bounce and never come back. I even have friends that have had this happen to them. I've had friends that have had people's guineas show up on their property that were not theirs to begin with, and they just decided to stay there. But I have never personally experienced this, and we've had these guineas for like 3 years now, aside from occasionally finding them over in Denny's yard or back behind our property out back by the cornfield and just shooing them back into the chicken run or back into our yard. Never any problems, none. Even if they wouldn't go into the run at night, they would be up in our trees on our property, so it was no big deal. They were here, they were safe, they just never took off. Guineas really help control the tick population in our yard and on our property, and that's very important since we have so many kids and dogs and cats, and the ticks are especially bad this year. That's why we initially got the guineas. A lot of people frown on guineas because they're super duper loud, which is something that we also got them for. They alert when there is any sort of danger present. Sometimes they alert just for no good reason at all. They're like little lawnmowers that go around your property and eat all of the ticks out of the yard. Guineas are a really beneficial bird to have. I was weeding the garden yesterday morning. I was just about to go in. I can only do outside chores for a portion of the day because it gets so hot, and then we have to do inside stuff, and then later in the evening we can come back out and finish whatever outside stuff we need to do. Right before I went in, I found this really crazy cool looking moth, which I know is going to lay little tomato worm babies that are going to attack all of my tomato plants, so I will definitely be feeding him to the chickens. As I was messing with this moth and taking pictures of it, I swore I heard the guineas squawking. Guineas? Guineas? My guineas! It was far away, it was very faint, but I was really hopeful that it was them. I grabbed a container of food so I could shake it, and I started calling for them. I went clear out back. It was super duper hot. Went on an adventure of trying to find my guineas.
Why? Don't eat that. That's not for doggies.
While I was on the hunt for them, I did find some really cool plants. There's some raspberry, grapes, pokeweed, and poison oak, poison ivy. There's just stuff back there that I didn't even know was there. It was nice to just kind of explore the fence line and see what all was there. However, I did not hear the guineas. I did not see the guineas. No guineas. And then I start questioning, like, did I actually hear them? Maybe it wasn't them. I started walking back to the house. I had so much laundry that I needed to get caught up, and that was in the back of my mind. I had my plan set to come out, weed the garden, and then I would go in and get laundry caught up. It rained the entire day before this, and it hasn't rained in a very long time, so we were very pleased to have the rain. However, I did not do any laundry that day, and when you have 6 kids and a bunch of animals, not doing laundry for even one day can be a very terrible situation very quickly. I always take our chicken that doesn't have any feet, her name is Sweetie, to the garden with me. Since she doesn't have feet, she can't scratch around and find the bugs and the worms and stuff on her own. She also is very shy and timid around all of the other hens because they kind of bully her because she's weak and she cannot fight back, so she just kind of hangs out in her own little Sweetie condo. She's got her own food, her own water, her own nesting box. She still lays eggs for us. She's very catered to. When I go into the garden, I like to take her out there with me. There's no other chickens, she doesn't have to fight for anything, and there's bugs and worms and stuff like readily available. After I put Sweetie away, I saw Roger, our funny-haired chicken. He's just a little guy. He's very nervous all the time, but he was looking like he was wanting a little snack. I don't know if he's a he. I will always reference my animals as he, most likely, but our chickens are, you know, mostly she's. I hope he's a he, because then we can have other little fluffy haired babies. Looking extra cute with his dumb little hair. I decided to give them a little midday snack, something I don't normally do. I usually just open up the run and let them all out into the yard. It was extra hot that day and they were all just kind of hanging out in there, and so I wasn't letting them out quite then. And I needed to get inside so I could get the laundry caught up, so I didn't want to put the dogs away and all of that stuff. The food that I took to unsuccessfully lure the guineas in, I decided that I would just toss out for Roger and the rest of the hens. As I'm tossing out the food, I hear like faint baby chick chirps, which is also not abnormal. Opal, our big mama hen, has 14 or 16 baby chicks that she has now brought out of the nesting house and is showing them how to be chickens, pecking and scratching and doing the things. It's not uncommon for me to hear these little baby cheeps coming from within the chicken run. However, as I get closer and the cheeping gets louder, it is not close to where Opal and her babies are at all, and I discover that there is one of Opal's babies drowning in the water dish that is just for the hens. In the nesting house, the baby chickens have a little tiny, nice baby waterer, something they can't fall in and die, but this one is very much like, you know, an aquatic center, a swimming pool for chickens if you are that size. Of course, this isn't a nice swimming pool. It is actually comparable to a mud puddle thanks to the ducks. Doesn't matter which water, they will find it, they will ruin it. We had to act quick and save this little chicken's life. I scooped the baby chicken out of the water. I know that there's a towel inside the barn that Jake or one of the kids ever so kindly left there and did not bring inside when they used it back here a couple of weeks ago, but turns out I ended up needing it, so it was nice to have it there. That doesn't mean you don't pick up your stuff. Pick it up, take it inside. I started working to get him dried off. Baby chicks are not feathered necessarily, like they have some like pin feathers at this point, but they are mainly fluff and their skin is super duper delicate and very thin, so you could easily injure a baby chick if you are aggressively drying him off. So it's something that you have to be very gentle with. A lot of times we use a hair dryer, but it was super duper hot outside and I did not want to stress him out even more, so we just took the time and dried him off with the towel that was left in the barn. It's like someone knew I was gonna need the towel. We've been having these like groups of helicopters and planes driving by at weird times, like usually in the middle of the night. The dogs go crazy, they're really low. It's just really weird. While I was drying off this baby chick, those planes and helicopters went over. I'm not sure what they are. I'm assuming they're military. I don't know what they're doing. Just noting, I guess, that it's just weird happenings that for the last week have been going on. Have the little chick almost dried off, still a little damp. It's just real hard to get that fluff completely dry, and he embarrassingly waddles over to his siblings that are now back in the nesting house with Opal. Our other broody hen, Uno, is in her nesting box hatching out chicks, her first chicks that she's ever hatched on her own. So as I set the baby chick down in the nesting house to join his brothers and sisters, I see his mom, Opal, the big mama hen, and Uno, who is in her nesting box. And at first I thought that they were like fighting. They were both like back up in the corner of this box, like pecking like down. So at first I thought maybe there was a chick back there and Opal was trying to fight Uno to like take her baby chick from her, thinking it was hers. Then out of the corner of my eye, I kind of like shoo Opal out of there. I see something like floop over here next to this plastic coffee can. And we use these coffee cans to like take feed. Instead of buying scoops, we just use the coffee cans. Then like all this happens like within split seconds, right? I'm like, maybe that was like a frog or something. Maybe there's a frog in here. I look and there is a snake hole in the nesting house. So those two mama hens were up in Uno's nesting box. We've also had baby chicks just come up missing, and we've had eggs missing for the past couple of weeks. Like our chickens in the spring and summer just like lay tons and tons and tons of eggs. We have had not as many as we should have, and especially in the last week or two, we've had much fewer eggs than we are used to. Baby chicks just coming up missing. That's weird, right? But they're little tiny baby chickens, like literally could have been anything. They could have gotten out, a cat could have got them, they could have squeezed through this fencing here because they're still small enough, and maybe a predator got them. We absolutely did not think that it could have been a snake. I told Jake I did not want any part of this snake situation, even though I'm not scared of snakes. I think if a snake is big enough that it's coming in and taking baby chicks and potentially taking eggs, I don't want to see this snake, especially not in close-up sort of fashion. Plus, I still have this laundry that I need to get out on the line so I can put more laundry in the washing machine, because as the day goes on, I am getting further and further behind in our laundry situation. Jake goes and deals with the snake, and I finally can go inside and get some laundry caught up. You guys, I was gonna hang the laundry out. That's what this whole thing was about. I wanted to go put the farm animals back in their pen, let the dogs back out, and then hang up the laundry. And then the guineas happen, and the baby chicken happen, and this is all that's in the washing machine. Me thinking I have an entire load of laundry to do was not that at all. It was just a pillow that one of the kids put in on its own, because otherwise the washing machine like won't spin it out. So this whole time that all of this craziness is happening, me thinking I hear the guineas, going to look for the guineas, the baby chick drowning in the water, Roger being super nervous about everything, and me giving them some snacks, and then finding a snake in the nesting house, and I finally get in to do the laundry, and it's just a pillow. I'm over it. That's hilarious. Anyways, here's what I think is happening. We always put all of the animals up in the evenings because there are a lot of predators here. There's just a lot of predators here. Could not find. Hey now, that's enough.
No, Polly.
Come on, Mallow. We don't want to be friends with her anyway.
I don't know why her doesn't love me. Her doesn't let me around my food.
Okay, I'm trying to tell a story, everyone. Trying to tell a story. Anyways, couldn't find any of the cats last night. Not even the baby kitties, which was really weird. Kitties are just now 8 weeks old. Couldn't find them. Definitely abnormal. Finally found the baby kitties and Mama Kitty. Mama Kitty was clear back in the neighbor's barn. That's where I keep feeling like the guineas noise is coming from, like back in that area. That barn's not ours. I think it's the fireworks. I think the fireworks are like spooking them, and they're bouncing. I go ahead and I swap the laundry, that way I can get it going. I decide that we're gonna have tacos for lunch. Jake is home. Usually during the day I don't make lunch. We usually have something very simple. The kids have sandwiches or we have fruit. Lunch is usually not a cooked meal, but I decide this day, since it's super hot and we had already done a bunch of work outside, that we would make some tacos and some fresh lemonade, without sugar, by the way. I will be making a video on that. Super easy recipe and it's super delicious. As I'm making the taco stuff and the lemonade, I get a message from Jake that says that he thinks he hears the guineas. So I rush outside because, like, maybe I'm not crazy. Maybe I did hear the guineas. I can hear the guineas still. We will find them. You see one? Oh, there it is in here. Sure enough. So only one of the guineas has come back. The darker guinea that we had is still not here. We will continue to listen. Maybe it's still around here. I don't even know if we can get another guinea. Opal, our mama hen, has actually hatched out some of the guinea eggs, and it appears that maybe our rooster is a little confused and has bred with those guineas. So we have some crosses between the guineas and the rooster happening. There's an official name for it, and it actually is a thing, and they're really adorable for right now, but they're gonna get real ugly real soon. But maybe they can be friends. Maybe she'll know that this is like, these are my people. Yeah, hey guinea. And we won't have to get another guinea. Maybe they'll be friends so she won't be lonely, because she very much isn't like friends with any of the chickens. I don't want her to be lonely and then take off because of that. We enjoyed our tacos. We enjoyed our nice cold lemonade for lunch. We ended up taking naps. It was a Saturday. None of us had to work. We had been working hard in the yard and on the farm and having all this craziness happen, and the only pressing matter was the laundry. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel. We will be doing updates on the snake in the nesting house, and I will be showing you how to make sugar-free lemonade that is just as good, if not better, than lemonade you get at the store. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys.